Welcome to the All In Podcast. That'd be Bryce and Ryan the Rock. This is a special week as we've got back-to-back episodes. How you feeling, Ryan?
Feature, man. Wow, I think Bryce is a little too tired from last night. We need some energy, Bryce. It's a
No, I'm awake. I'm awake. Yeah, we stayed up a little late, grinding some 1-2 home game. It was a good time though.
Yeah,
but, yeah, very excited for today's episode.
Absolutely.
And yeah, can't wait to get into it.
So I think we should definitely start. We should start by talking about, we referenced what happened with Daniel Negreanu and Doug Polk last night, but there's also another big heads-up challenge that's going on right now. Different form, it's in PLO, but just finished up with Chance Kornuth and Phil Galfond. And Kornuth is down $750K in game, and you were saying something about a side bet?
Yeah, they had a side bet, so Galfond laid him 4-1 odds. I believe it was $250K on Kornuth's head and $1 million on Galfond's head. So interesting that Galfond believed his edge was this massive. Obviously, they were going to play 25K hands. Is that right?
Yes.
So obviously, it's a pretty large sample size, heads up, but still 4-1 odds. That's a pretty big edge. But I mean, obviously worked out for him.
Yeah. And I'm by no means like a PLO head, but watching their matchup and their different matches has been a lot of fun. It's a different feel than Polk Negreanu in a good way. Polk Negreanu is more of a grudge match, and this one's more of a, Phil and Chance are like pretty easygoing guys. Like they aren't gonna yell at each other, especially Phil Galfond of all people. I can't imagine him getting all that angry. Yeah,
a little less dramatics, a little more just poker and a friendly setting. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, Galfond, especially after coming back in his last challenge, just so sick that he's just on a run. He's definitely one of the best PLO players in the world, and I think that's just inarguable at this point.
Oof, yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely fun to see. I've definitely followed more of the Polk Negreanu challenge. From yesterday, Negreanu lost about 100K. Is that right? 120K, something in that range.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully see Daniel crawl his way back a little bit more, and hopefully we see a little more dramatics. But hopefully the poker doesn't stop.
I agree. So without further ado, I say we introduce our second guest, the double feature. Today on the All In Podcast, we finish up this week on quite the high note. From humble beginnings as the 1999 Junior World Champion at the Magic the Gathering card game, Jeff Boski now boasts over 12,000 Twitch followers and 43,000 YouTube subscribers as an ACR-sponsored pro. If that's not enough, he's closing in on $1 million in live tournament winnings, and not even counting the last year that he's done grinding online. I'm really not sure about it. His cash and tournament content online has entertained and informed many up-and-coming poker players for years now, including Bryce and myself. So without further ado, let's welcome Jeff Boski to the All In Podcast.
It is a pleasure to be on the All In Poker Podcast. Bad beat, Bryce, Ryan the Rock. We're here, we're live, and we're doing it big.
Yes, sir. Very excited to have you.
Oh, yeah. I'm always excited. Hype, electrifying. These are what terms people always say. No, they really don't. But here we are.
Yeah. Especially about podcasts and long-form media, So all excitement and energy.
Well, it's like Twitch. You're on there for 4 hours. I don't know how people can keep that energy level up. I just got to keep it real. And, occasionally I'll get excited if I win an all in or something. But,
it's fun watching the evolution of you in the chair, too, where you've gone from the neck pillow full relaxation towards the beginning of quarantine to now. I think as the stream's blown up, it's become a nicer camera, probably a nicer setup, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, spent some money, hired some people, got the better stream lab set up, and the green screen. And now the newest innovation is, what's the screen look like now? Can you see the green screen, or is it zoomed in?
Yeah.
Can you zoom in? You zoom in so it looks like you can't actually.
We can see the edges of it in your shot. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, whatever. It's fine. I thought it was more zoomed in on your angle, but the original angle when we were talking, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what looks like behind me. But yeah, I actually really took it to the next level. I found imagine a pool felt. It's just like a cloth, and I throw it over the lazy boy and the neck pillow. So I'm actually floating in space. You can't even see the lazy boy neck pillow now.
That's kind of fun. I like that.
Kind of sick.
So that's in the most recent edition, which I think is pretty cool. Pretty cool. And green screen's real cool if you're drinking like a green drink. You hold it up and it's just invisible.
That's pretty sick.
I like technology, just confusing at times. So that's why I pay people to teach me how to do stuff.
Makes sense to me. Ryan, you want to start us off with the question portion?
Yeah. So, I'd like to kick it off. So some people would be surprised to find out that Jeff Boski isn't actually your real name, but Slazinski doesn't exactly have quite the same ring. So what's the story behind Boski? Is it a nickname, family thing? Where'd it come from?
Yeah, nickname. Obviously, both names are inherently Polish, so not much of a difference. But yeah, I got it about senior year of high school. Not sure the exact origins. I just know it was like 3 different events that were going on at that time. When are you familiar with the WWE wrestler, the Big Val Boski?
I've heard the name.
Not.
Okay, he was in wrestling's prime around 99, 2000. He was a porn star, effectively. That was like his character, and
Okay.
it's hilarious.
Different times, I love it.
Check out those clips. I use one of them, the Hello Ladies, in my stream sometimes.
Okay.
The Big Val Boski. That was going on. Ludacris's song "Throw Them Bows" became a little bit more popular then, and that was like kind of like the dance we do in the Canada clubs when I turned 19. So that kind of wore off, and the Big Lebowski movie came out, and I'm the dude, Jeffrey Lebowski. I like Caucasians, White Russians, aka, and just a lot easier to say than Sluzinski. So
I love that. It's like a bunch of different things that all came together to just give you that one name of Boski.
Yeah, it works. It's not an insult, and people have to remember the number one rule about nicknames is you cannot nickname yourself. You can't. If you did, you're a phony. I cannot condone such things. Don't be that guy. You can't be like, oh, I'm Big Dick Rick. No, you can't just throw that out there. You got to
name you that, right?
Yeah, or Tiny Lister, Debo from the movie Friday. You don't think he called himself Tiny,
That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, definitely got to have someone else do it or you're a phony. But as we've recently interviewed a ton of mindset coaches on our podcast, I'm interested. How did you handle emotionally the initial downswings in your career? And being largely a tournament player, I'm sure you've felt the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. How did you manage to overcome the difficult times and the downswings?
Great question. I never really had huge downswings. I was always so nitty with my bankroll and fear of going broke that I'd always just move down and play, $6 sit and goes or $3 tournaments or whatever it was. But I did, if you look at like my SharkScope graphs on Stars and ACR in the beginning for 5,000-10,000 tournaments, I was just barely profitable, like barely paying the bills, just trying to get better. And the aha moment was, I think, back in Stars days when a staking group contacted me and said, hey, we want to put you in some bigger tournaments. And I was like, what? Why would you want to do that? I'm barely winning, And they're like, no, we want to invest in you. You think we're going to win us money. So win us money. You get half, we get half. And that not only gave me like confidence, like it was like a compliment,
Mm-hmm.
It also gave me the ability to disassociate myself with the buy-ins. It's not like, oh, I just lost $22. That was a nice dinner for me and my friends. That was 20 items on the dollar menu.
Yeah.
You can't think of it like that. And the best thing I did was think about poker tournaments as a video game and just trying to, win all the chips. The chips are just a score. The game is to win all the chips. Don't even think about the prizes. I'd get mad when my friends would say, oh, it's $2,500 for first, bro. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm done. And then just you can look at that afterwards and just play your game. Don't be afraid. And you're going to have to punt it off a lot. And like Doug Polk always says, sometimes it's just your turn to die.
That's true.
You have to come to the realization of that and just try to make good plays.
Does that ever go out the window, though, for ICM knowledge, now that we have all of this math knowledge about, the amount of each jump and how that should play into your ranges?
Yeah, I was always a big proponent of laddering and just knitting it up at the final table and just finding good spots. And it seemed like it worked pretty good because people really don't pay that much attention that you're folding every hand. And then when you shove your 5 blinds or whatever, they're like, oh, king 8 suited, I call. And, they're just never going to be good. And you get that relatively easily double up. But there's definitely different philosophies for that. I definitely played differently if I was big stack or whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes sense. Ryan?
I'm sorry. So I think it's fair to say that you've had a bit of a rocky relationship with YouTube. In the middle of last year, the YouTube algorithm started taking down your videos, and it gave you 2 strikes on your channel and a 2-week ban. Looking back now, it's retrospect. We're in 2021. Do you think those bans, you still think they were totally unwarranted? And has YouTube made any changes to fix those problems?
Oh, yeah. Luckily, I was able to reach out to Chen and Ryan Watts on Twitter, who are some higher ups for gaming at YouTube. We'll get into it's who you know in this world type of thing in a second. But they basically, I said, tell me what I did wrong, and I won't do it again. Slap me on the wrist, no problem. I like YouTube. I'm not trying to be the bad boy. I'm not trying to get banned here. And they basically said, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just the AI bot falsely flagging some of your videos, and then it just gives you a strike, 3 strikes, and you're out. And eventually, as I was fighting this, one day I got that 3rd strike, and my whole channel got terminated. So that's when I was like, oh, fuck. This is right around Christmas time. Actually, at one point, it removed 99% of my videos before I got terminated. And there was like 5 videos left, and 3 of them were from the porn awards. And
oh yeah,
so it removed all the poker videos, but it left like the most risky videos.
That's left over from years ago.
Yeah, so it just really hated poker. Really never got to the bottom of it. Lex Veldhouse reached out to me on Twitter and said it might have had something to do with my affiliate link to Raise Your Edge for a training site, because he thought that was getting flagged on his videos and he had to remove that. And I just tried everything, and it was a hell of a fight. But in the end, even after my whole video disappearing and people messaging me endlessly, bro, where's your YouTube channel, bro? Like, yeah, I know.
DMs were blowing up the store.
I reached out to, I think Chen was the one that eventually fully reinstated my channel, which was nice to see. In the heat of the moment, I was lucky enough to back up all of my videos so they weren't disappeared forever. So maybe I could re-upload them on YouTube or BitChute. People kept saying, get on this decentralized YouTube that's not going to censor you and ban you and shit. But in the end, got it back and haven't really had any strikes going forward. And they really had no answers for me as to what I was doing wrong. It was always usually harmful and dangerous content, whatever that means.
That is so weird.
When you said it's a people situation.
Yeah.
That's just
if I didn't reach out to people, there's no way to really get a hold of YouTube. I guess there's support, but it'll just be an automated, you fucked up, sorry. But especially in life, that's one thing I really realized over these last few years, the power of networking. And just the little things, it shocks me to this day, like how much money you can save if you just say, oh, are there any coupons available when you're getting an oil change, or the doctor's office? Oh, I'm an ex-veteran. Oh, you get 10% off. Oh, I'm elderly. You get 20% off. Never pay retail, and always try to network with somebody to get what you want. Or just I made a doctor's appointment yesterday. My finger's fucked up, and they're like, oh yeah, February 9th, soonest we can get you in. And I said, really? I'm in some pain.
Yeah, my finger's going to be different by then.
Yeah, I'm in a lot of pain. It's my bowling finger. I depend on bowling as my other source of entertainment. And she goes, oh, we could get you in tomorrow. Like, what the fuck is that?
Why didn't you start with that?
Yeah, it's not. You can't get into the 9th or tomorrow. Like, just because you ask again or you try to negotiate, and this works with all businesses. I mean, you can be like shady about it and try to scam the system and try to get your, your McChicken and McDeluxe for free. You just complain and they'll, give you coupons or whatever. I'm not saying be shady like that, but it never hurts to ask, no matter what it is, within reason. The worst thing they can do is say no. You get your oil change. They're like, oh, that'll be $100. Say, oh, is there any coupons? And 90% of the time, oh yeah, there's the 10% off local discount. There's, oh, it's in the paper. Oh, it's on retail. They're not going to say, oh, you asked, so now it's $110.
Right.
It's a pure free roll. And you don't want to be like the annoying guy, and you never want to get aggressive with customer service. I mean, they're doing a tough job. They deal with shit all the time. They'll actually be refreshed that you're so nice to them compared to the average customer, that's calling the cable company or complaining about airlines or, just fucking, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's GTO for sure, is to be just absolutely the nicest person in the world to those people on the phone, because you're more likely to get what you want if you're nice to them than if you're angry at them.
Absolutely. It's easy to tilt. We've all been there, but you're going down a road. Worst case scenario is to make some thinly veiled threats. Just say, in theory, I mean, you don't want to ever say, do the old, oh, do you know who I am? Or I'm going directly say, hey, I'm gonna fuck you up on Yelp if you don't give me, my extra foot long sub here, or give me that extra dressing or whatever you're complaining about. But you can insinuate it. You can say, okay, well, I appreciate a refund. This is a horrible experience. I just want to break even. I've already spent X amount of time dealing with you. If you don't give me a refund, the bad PR on your company is going to cost you more than $100 or whatever. Mm-hmm. In theory, I don't want to go that route. Let's just settle this amicably.
Ma'am, did I mention I have over 10,000 followers on Twitter?
Yeah. You don't really want to drop that.
Right. That's the last resort.
And they might even laugh at that, because there might be someone that just called with 100,000 followers. 10,000. What is that? But just, they're humans. Golden rule: do unto others as others would do unto you. Treat them with respect. You'll get it back. And it's kind of the same thing in the poker community. Although there's a lot of scammers and shit out there, the one thing that I really appreciate is just the not camaraderie, but the trust amongst established individuals, where you can vouch for somebody and 99% of the time they're not going to screw you. And that trust is very important when doing trades or, just borrowing money if you're in Europe or some shit. Whatever it is, it's just nice to have that community where people trust each other in a way where in other occupations you can barely loan someone $20 and you're sweating getting it back.
Yeah. Talking about that community, you were just saying you were talking about bowling, and that's one of your favorite side activities. Have you gotten to do much bowling since the pandemic has begun? I heard a little bit on another podcast that you'd played, but the Corona restrictions are a little difficult. Yeah.
Where are you guys located?
We're way out in the East Coast. So,
Lockdown.
We have old fashioned bowling alleys around, but I actually don't know if they're open or not. They probably are.
I don't think the ones near me are.
That's interesting. Are they closed near you?
No, they reopened about 6 months ago with social distancing, which, I don't want to, how can I say this? Right before COVID hit, I made a little Instagram video about how unhygienic bowling is and how people don't realize how many fist bumps and high fives are traded amongst teams and your teammates in a given night. It's hundreds. Okay. So as soon as the China virus started infiltrating the U.S., I started to institute a foot bump instead of a fist bump. Just a little toe tap. And some people thought it was funny. Some people were like, "You're stupid, bro. What are you doing?" But that's fine. And then it really hit. Everything got shut down, and I was like, "Told you." Bowling I'm in 2 leagues in Las Vegas. I'm definitely above average in bowling, and it's been a passion of mine for years, before Magic even. And it's still super unhygienic. Fist bumps have not been banned. You got to wear a mask. It sucks to bowl with the mask on, but it's a way around it. And now there's lane. Okay, so let's say there's 20 lanes on a bowling alley.
Every other.
They have plexiglass? Don't tell me.
They don't have plexiglass.
Okay.
That would be funny.
But it's not every other. Like, you're a team of 4 bowls against a team of 4. My team of 4 is on lane 1. The other team of 4 is on lane 2. And then lane 3 and 4 are empty. Okay. So there is a gap between our teams, but there's still 8 people in close proximity to each other, fist bumping every shot.
Mm-hmm.
Touching
right next
each
to
other's balls and throwing them oil, oil balls, dirt.
It's a mess.
I'm not going to hate on it. I'm happy to have the option to bowl. I think most people that were in my leagues have come back to bowl. And the camaraderie, once again, just the structure of a weekly bowling league, I can't emphasize this enough. Even if you suck at bowling, get a friend or two or just show up at the league and you can get put on a team. And it's just a great pastime. It's competitive. It's fun. And, it's a great sport. I highly recommend it. And I'm trying to – there's a big crossover between professional bowlers and poker as it is. And as I'm digging into this ecosystem, I'm seeing this because there is a bit of gambling in bowling. People, it's not really talked about, but pro bowlers do, I think they're called pot games, where it's like, hey, Ryan the Rock, oh, you think you're sweet? Let's bowl. Fucking $20 a pin. Let's roll. And
I love that.
Let's gamble, like in
kind of like pool.
Yeah,
$20 a ball. $20
a side hustle. And people like to gamble on stuff. Why not gamble on a activity where there's some element of luck and a lot of skill?
My home casino actually has a bowling alley in house. If you've ever been to the MGM Springfield, they have a bowling alley in the place. It's not a huge one. It's only like 4 or 5 lanes, but they have a mini bowling alley in there.
Wow, yeah, I've never been to East Coast. I need to travel more. I've been meaning to, but here we are.
It is what it is.
I think Meadows might have one too. But moving back to your YouTube channel, I noticed your initial goal in starting it was to raise awareness for the Las Vegas Boxer Rescue organization. Could you explain your relationship to them, and did you expect your vlog to become as popular as it is now?
Yeah, that was the main goal. I didn't start the vlog. I started the vlog because I found out how to make videos on my phone. I was just fucking around one day and I saw an iMovie app. It comes free on the iPhone and you can just make movies pretty easily. Just like short. And I just made like a short movie of, I forget what it was. Maybe me going to the dog park and like sending it to my mom and putting some music to it. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I can, slow motion, midair ball grab through a sprinkler, you can really get the creative juices going. I was like, this is so easy. And then someone told me, you should make poker vlogs. And I said, what the fuck's a poker vlog? And this is just over 4 years ago now. And someone sent me a link to the Trooper. And I was like, what is this? What is this bullshit? This guy is just complaining about pizza and losing at 1-2 no limit. I can do better than this. So I started making tournament vlogs, and every single one I just crushed. If you pull up my Hendon Mob from November 2017 for like the next 2 months, I just won every local tournament with a couple hundred people. I didn't even get second. I just won everything. And people are like, oh, this guy doesn't show the ones he doesn't win. First of all, I showed every single tournament I've ever played. And even if I was bricking random shit, it's still the most incredible run ever. Unfortunately, it's pretty low stakes. I'm winning, $5,000 per tournament, but I'm showing it all. And you can see like vlog 1 through 10 is just sun running. And it must be something psychologically with the self-accountability of recording myself and knowing I'm gonna have to edit it. But of course, running super hot too. So yeah, great start. And didn't really want people to watch it in the first place. I was kind of like shy about that. I just wanted like my friends to see it because I didn't want other people, like judging me and commenting mean things, as weak as that sounds. But you kind of get used to it and you just deal with the problem by banning them or, you can't really change trolls. So it's better just to ban them.
And during that period of time, was it at that period of time, or was there one particular tournament that sticks out as like your favorite run? Like, I know you've cashed in a main event before, just this in 2019. Was that
1 out of 15?
Fun? Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. The best run was right in the beginning for sure. Like I got 4th in the Venetian, and then I won. I fourth in the Venetian for like 15,000 and a 400, or no, whatever it was. And then the Bellagio PLO event, I got third. 1K Bellagio, I got third, and then the Win Saturday rebuy, I won 3 weeks in a row, and that had 100, 200 people. So to go back to back, that was pretty incredible, and people really caught notice of the vlog when I did that.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
I mean, you can't fake that. I mean,
exactly.
I pay off the field, just drop 100K on the
picture with the tournament. Yeah, take a picture with the trophy, please, right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to relive those memories. That's why I made like a playlist that just says big wins, and it's like 40 videos of the 400, because the other 360 I just lose. And that's the reality of tournaments, which you get a lot of mean comments because they don't realize how often you lose. And people just intrinsically like to see people win. It like feels good. That's why people like happy endings and stuff. And tournaments, it's tough to get that happy ending.
Not a lot of them, right? That's totally fair. So I on an entirely side note, I am curious. Now, you've spent some time with the Ryan DePaulo crew and them. I'm curious what Joey the Mush is like. Is he really the full mush when you got to hang out with him? Did you got to go bowling with him? Did he try to mush you out of any money during bowling?
I don't think I ever met Joey the Mush. Maybe just briefly when they were in town in Vegas
for the Colossus, I think.
But I bowled with Tom, his other buddy Tom and Ryan, and super cool guys. Me and Ryan make a pretty yin and yang combo, I guess you could say. A Shaq and Kobe, two completely opposites, but we get along well, and I'm happy I could help him come up in the YouTube game, get the ACR deal and all that. So
how recent was the ACR deal for him?
Maybe 6 months ago, something like that.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
So crazy. I'm happy for him. And he won a tournament just recently down in Hollywood, right?
Yeah, he flew right down, won the 600 for 40K first, just like that. Late reg, just ship it all. Incredible. He's got that those DGen tingles, and he's got what it takes to really gamble it up, and high variance play gets rewarded in tournaments.
Yeah, hopefully it's gonna be a good vlog too.
So one of my last questions for you is, when did you first begin poker coaching, and do you primarily cater to MTT students, or do you enjoy teaching cash game strategy as well?
I don't think I'm qualified enough for high stakes or any type of relatively high stakes cash game coaching. I'm probably just a slight winner in live cash games. I'm definitely more of a tournament specialist. 15 years playing online tournaments. You learn a few things. I don't really do poker coaching anymore. It was just kind of like a nice side hustle to generate income. It was pretty enjoyable. I always kind of got a rush out of it. It kind of felt good after you got out of that conversation. And it does kind of sharpen your game, just like rehashing some of these strategies. And I charged like $100 an hour, went to 150, went to 200. The haters are always going to say, why are you worth that? Why are you trying to rip us off? It's like, no, it's an option if you don't want it. And I'm definitely not going to offer it if I don't think it's going to be beneficial for you. I'm not trying to scam someone out of $100 for an hour of their time. But if they're of any reasonable volume and they're going to put the work in to study the material that I present to them, they should recoup that investment in no time. Now I just promote, more legitimate training sites like Raise Your Edge, BBZ, a couple other like Range Converters, GTO Trainer, just whatever I feel is, quality content from winning players. Because there's training sites out there with a lot of people that I personally don't trust, and I don't think you should either.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I totally agree with you.
Oh, but about the boxers, I found out you can get revenue from YouTube once you get like 1,000 viewers. I never mentioned that. And I got my dog Clyde from Las Vegas Boxer Rescue, which is these animal rescues. They don't even like break even. They just lose money from vet bills. Like the average animal they take in, they spend over $1,000 just to rehabilitate them, get them all the shots and fixed and whatever. And then they, adopt them out for like $300. They just want to see them go to a good home. And they provided me with my boy, who was invaluable in making my life better. And I just wanted to help promote them to raise money for them because they're doing such a great thing. I didn't have tons of money to give to them. So, if people can give $5-10, that'd be great. And ever since, I've just been using all my Twitch revenue and my Teespring revenue just to give to Adopt a Boxer Rescue. That's awesome. That's the new one. Las Vegas Boxer Rescue closed down because there's just like a mom and pop or husband and wife thing where they're just doing it out of their house, just trying to make a difference, and they just lose too much money, and they're just completely indebted to all of the vets around town, and it's just not a sustainable business model unless you have a huge following or you have just like rich people just pumping money into it. But yeah, ban Amish puppy mills. I made a video. The truth about Amish puppy mills has about 100,000 views. Really tells you what, as far as I know, how things go in the Lancaster County and how the Amish don't treat dogs as anything but a cash crop, and they just treat them inhumanely. They're just trying to get that money. A mother will breed out 100 pups, and as soon as she's done breeding, just kick them to the curb. Horrible conditions. So we're trying to put an end to Amish puppy mills and, just get people to adopt and not shop. Puppies are cute, but a rescue dog might just rescue you.
If you need activists, you should go to F&M. Our alma mater is right in the smack in the middle of Lancaster County. They can get to all the Amish people out there.
What's F&M?
Franklin and Marshall College.
Okay, that's right in Amish country?
Yep.
Yeah, it's in Lancaster.
It's in Lancaster City in the middle of Lancaster County.
Oh, so you guys know...
yeah, we know that county. I know plenty of Amish people, yep.
Central Market, we're very familiar with
the whole thing.
So what's your experience with the Amish? I've never been. I only have secondhand, information. They're
incredibly friendly. They're unless you do certain things, like they don't like their picture taken. So freshmen often will end up in a situation where they'll like try to sneak a picture of them, and they'll literally like dive underneath whatever table they're at because they have something about their photograph being taken. But there's lots of Amish and Mennonites, which are slightly different. So there's different rules that go with them. It's like the Mennonites are like Amish light. So the Amish are a little bit more serious and you see less of them because it's very strict. Like they can't have a phone. They can't drive a car. Whereas the Mennonites can drive cars and stuff. So we see them more often because they do more business in the city. Because obviously it's much harder to get to Lancaster if you're on a horse and buggy than it is if you're in a van.
Okay.
They are always wearing their full garments too. I ran on the track team or whatever, and the guys would be wearing like not even like tennis shoes or anything. They're wearing like these dress shoes running on the track at a pretty quick clip, and it's kind of crazy to see.
I ran
a marathon. He qualified for Boston wearing a full like Amish getup.
I was there. I ran the half marathon against that guy.
That guy?
He did it in overalls and work boots. I saw him do it.
Did he kick your ass?
He won. He beat over a 1,500 people field. There were sponsored Nike marathon athletes running in that field, and he creamed them.
Wow.
In boots, like in boots and overalls, like, and he didn't even look winded. I finished like an hour after he did, and I mean, obviously, he didn't look winded an hour later, but like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It looked like he could have done it with a cow on his back and still won the race. Like that's how insanely strong they are.
Yeah, they're a different breed for sure, from what I hear. But I just can't get behind how they treat boxers and puppies in general.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
trying to make a difference on that front.
Absolutely, we'll make sure to put a link in the description to the Las Vegas.
Yes, for some donations. Sure.
Yes. Adopt a Boxer Rescue is the one I promote.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We'll shoot you a message. We'll get a link, so we'll be sure to put it in the description.
And then last question I have for you is just, do you have any different goals this year opposed to the past years, post-pandemic, or anything certain you want to accomplish? Whether it be, are you more focused on increasing your Twitch presence? Are you focused on a certain tournament? Or are there any certain goals you have for 2021?
Yeah, just Twitch is fun. I've gotten to like it more and more just by interacting with the community. Banning the trolls, kind of, it's a net positive just to get rid of them. It makes a better environment for everybody. And luckily, I have a lot of mods that just take care of that. And they have a pretty good idea of what's acceptable and what isn't. People say I'm too strict. It's like, okay, how much are you going to put up with? How much poking are you going to, deal with before you just got to say, all right, this channel isn't meant for you. There's plenty of other channels. We're trying to have a good time here. We're not going to put up with your bullshit.
Yeah.
Totally.
I was actually about a month ago, I was actually seriously considering trying to become a professional bowler. I know I'm a little late in the game, but I was lucky enough to meet a lot of people in the bowling industry recently that were aware of my poker vlog. So there was the crossover between bowling and poker. And I was able to trade, actually, my last time I gave poker coaching lessons was to a guy I traded bowling lessons from. And, you know, people like Brad Owen, I was hanging out with him the other day and he said, "You're getting bowling lessons. You're the best bowler I've ever seen." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm trying to get better." You know, these guys are the best in the world. You think I'm just going to, there's a lot of secrets. There's a lot to learn when it comes to just the drilling of the balls, the approach, the form, the strength and conditioning, the nutrition. You got to be on the top of your game to be one of the best in the world. And through a certain person, Brad, shout out to Brad in the chat. We got any bowlers in the chat? He introduced me to his roommate, who's Anthony Simonson. I don't know if you guys follow bowling at all, but he's the best bowler in the world. Lucky me. He just won $50K last weekend, and I've been able to hang out with him and learn some things from him. And like I said, it's all about that networking. Unfortunately, as I said, I have a finger problem now, middle finger, and we're going to see another doctor because you need that middle finger to bowl. So slight problem that we're looking to get solved, and I'm going to do what I can to possibly pursue my dream of professional bowler / poker player.
Well,
that's
Jeff,
awesome.
We're certainly looking forward to seeing you on ESPN's Wide World of Sports on Saturday mornings, bowling it up for the championship. We can't thank you enough for coming on. Really, this has been absolute pleasure. Barring those minor technical difficulties, we've made it through, and thank you so much. Really, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me. Always a good time. Appreciate it. And I can't wait to see the future success of your show.
Thank you.
Appreciate it so much, Jeff. Good luck on the grind.
Thank you very much. You guys take care.
Talk to you, Jeff.
We have a few more hand histories for you guys that you guys submitted. And I think one of Ryan's hands, but you want to pull them up, Ryan?
Absolutely. We'll get it started with my own hand.
But this has been a fun episode. Thank you guys for tuning in midday on a Thursday. Well, evening for us, but
yeah, it depends where you are. We've got lots of viewers from lots of different parts of the country and the world.
We do.
Only 2/3 of our viewing audience comes from the United States, and only 1/4 of our viewing audience is subscribed to the channel. So if you'd like to, please, if you're not watching us in full screen, it takes 2 clicks to hit like and subscribe. If you're in full screen, it takes 4 clicks to hit like and subscribe and get back. So please, from the bottom of our hearts, any YouTuber who's told you this is not kidding, it helps. So please.
Alrighty, well, this hand's boring. I was in this game, and I'm not in this hand, so.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry, Bryce. I couldn't get an exact spot with you.
You didn't even put my deep stack on this. What's up with that?
I only put the people who are relevant to the hand, Bryce.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
So we see a limp from Under the Gun 2, an open from Low Jack. These Zoom games, you can also join in the fun if you'd like to. Go ahead and DM Bad Beat Bryce, and you can hop in these games. It's fun. We've been able to chat with these people. So Joe Messi, very nice guy. I don't know. I guess Jordan is his name. I don't think he'd mind me saying just his first name. He's a perfectly nice guy, and I've gotten to play a lot with him. So, you know, having history with some of these people makes it even more fun, I think, than just playing, you know, randos in a club.
The meta, the leveling.
Yep. So here we are, King Queen off on the button. I think it is I think it's a 3-better fold kind of spot. I don't know if you disagree with that. Maybe with King Queen suited, you could make an argument.
I mean, you can flat sometimes. I think it's player dependent, and I think because he's known to squeeze and try to ISO and bump it up very frequently. Like, again, the only person who does this.
I also remember what I was thinking.
I
remember what I was thinking in this hand in this moment was that Danny V was V-pipping like 99% of hands, limp calling all the time.
Absolutely.
So obviously Jordan's incentivized to just attack his limp. So
with that logic, though, you might think Danny V might be calling anyways because he'd like to see a lot of flops. So I almost like to go 35 here. Because
that was my one thing.
He also knows that Jordan is likely to call here. So I don't think 30 is bad. Obviously, you're in position, and you'd want to size up more out of position. But because we know Danny's been playing so many hands, and if Danny's in the hand, Jordan likely is going to want to be in the hand. I'd like to go 35-ish.
Yeah, I like that. That's a little nitpick, but I totally agree. I think in game in the moment, I looked at it, I hit 3x, and I let it go. And now looking back, you miss out on that couple big blinds of value, which makes sense.
Also, because we're deep as hell, I don't mind.
Oh my god, 400 something big blinds deep, right? You could always go a little bigger. So we get calls in 3 spots. Cold call from the big blind, which is a unique one. And then, of course, our limper and Jordan all call. Head to a flop. Good flop. Top pair. I think this checks to me. It should. Checks to me. And I really thought about this one when I was trying to think about how I wanted to size this 3 ways, because I think on this board, I can size up here and I'm going to get called by flush draws and all worse kings. I don't think anyone here has a better king, because I would absolutely expect them to back 4-bet to at least squeeze someone out of the pot with so much dead money. So I really do think I'm good here. But also with king of hearts in hand, I don't know. It's a weird spot. I go to 71.
I think young Gunny could have ace king off here sometimes, but Jordan absolutely would 4-bet you. But yeah.
So I go to 71.
I like this sizing. I think sometimes you even go like half pot, and when there's multiple people, I yell at you. I think 71's fine, also because you hold the king of hearts in your hand, you block some flush draws, so there's no need to go to like 85 or something massive. I actually really like the size, and I don't really have too much to nitpick on it. I like it.
Yeah, I think without the king of hearts in hand, you can go bigger. I agree.
But yeah, I think this size is totally fine.
Oh, we get a cold call from our limper.
So that's interesting. Obviously, he's got some 3s, some 5s, some 3-5 suited. But obviously, we expect to be ahead here the vast majority of the time. He could have a ton of weaker kings, a ton of flush draws. His range is still fairly wide.
And the good part is that his weaker kings, we block the king of hearts, so we can't have king X of hearts, which is important. For his ace, not a grand card for us. I mean, how much ace X is he going to be floating us with there? Maybe ace 4.
Yeah, that's the thing. Unless he has the flush draw, I don't really expect him to be floating us with that many aces unless you happen to have ace 3, ace 5, which is pretty loose call considering how deep he is. He only has 229 or 299 behind. Is he really going to put in like 80 just with a pair?
Right.
So yeah, I don't expect him to have too many aces unless he has the flush draw. And I expect him to be checking here
all the time.
With
everything. And so now we reach an interesting decision point. So this is where I knew that on this specific card, I wasn't gonna. I don't think I could go bet against a worse king here, because I think King Jack is just gonna get away. And also with the stack sizes being what they are, it's gonna be really awkward for me to size 2 streets to get his whole stack in. Like I'd have to bet an awkward sizing now. Like, I don't know. I guess you could bet 50, but that looks really strange. Like I'd bet $100 on the turn and then jam river. And he has, but then, he has.
I don't think he's going to be calling you when this ace comes out. I don't think a king 10 hand's going to call you. What, are you targeting exactly King Jack? I'm looking to check this just all the time because he also can bluff raise you.
Yep.
I mean,
right. Oh my God, you get check raised here.
So I just look to check and maybe go some thin value on the river, assuming a non-heart pops off. But that's actually a pretty good card for you.
That's what I thought, especially at the time. And when he goes ahead, and I think he goes ahead and fires. I think this is just pretty standard call. I think if he jams, it's a little bit more scary. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of bit more scary. It's double the money going in there.
But do we really think he's gonna just? I don't know. Checking turns pretty dangerous when the flush draw is out there. I mean, it again depends on his exact holding and if he has hearts too. But I'm looking to just call this. It's not a massive bet. It's not even half pot. Sure, he could have it sometimes, but
what happens if he jams this river?
I think it depends. I mean, you're a big guy and timing tells. If he just insta jams river, I actually think that looks weak.
He took his time with this particular.
Yeah,
I think if he took 10 seconds and ripped it.
Yeah,
I'd be in a kind of a weird spot.
I mean, we don't love it, but this is like we're too top of range.
If you're folding king queen here, right? I think this is one of those that like
we're only calling with what trips.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's it.
Trips and boats, like that's too little to be calling with, especially in a polarizing spot like that where he should be having some bluffs. And that is.
I forget if we're good. I think we're good here. I don't know.
I think he turns over the old queen 7 of hearts. Limp callers. This is a great part. Like I'm very excited because he's a great case study in live cash game players. A lot of them do stuff like this. They'll limp call with garbage hands. Then they'll get themselves into situations like this on the flop, and then they'll go ahead and try to bluff you off with a decent.
I wish he had like queen 5 offsuit. That's a way better bluff. Like the fact that he had hearts blocked the hands that he'd want you to have, and unless he thought he could get you off like king 10, king jack suited, which put in a pretty loose 3-bet. You just got to call here, and we got it right. And I like the turn check. I mean, he would have called turn and then probably given up on river, but who knows? I think he made more money.
That's exactly what I felt about it too. Okay, so here we are. We got a 330 tournament on ACR.
Where'd you get this? Is this the hand history launch thing?
Yeah, I just pulled it from.
I got you. Okay.
We got a couple of limps going around, and we're in the small blind with king 9 off. Ooh, maybe. Do you squeeze?
No.
You limp?
Sure. Yeah.
I think you could complete.
Limping's totally fine. I mean, I'm just gonna give up on this hand if anyone raises. We're small blind. I'm not squeezing with king 9 offsuit.
I agree. I think it's
this just not worth it. Early stage.
Right. I think we're still towards the beginning. We're 70 something big blinds deep. Everyone's that amount. I think we're towards the start of the game. So I think limp is fine. And we get check. They go 5 ways to the flop. That's what you want in a limp pot. It's flop top here. Check. Interesting. I think in a fully limped pot, you can opt to lead into this here when you flop top. I think especially king 9, maybe with the king of hearts in hand, I think you might lean a little bit more towards a check, but I kind of like bet here in a limp pot.
I mean, betting sometimes is fine, but I think checking's fine too. I mean, people could have literally 9-8, 8-5, pocket fives, like 6-7, 10 jack. Like, I mean, there are so many draws that we think we're going to get called, but then it's almost a pot control because. Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. No, okay. I'm curious. Does anyone bet this one? So we get a 1 big blind bet from the hijack. I really have no idea what that's supposed to accomplish. 1 big blind into 5. I mean,
I actually think you can potentially raise this once it's from the hijack, just because it's late position. But trying to steal when you're going for that small, like what the heck? But I think I do try to ISO at the minimum. So I like a check raise here. Yeah. Especially when he bets 40. Like if you actually have a made hand, you're not going to want the draws to continue for that amazing of a price. You could get 4 callers. Like this man is not nutted here often at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a limped pot. Dude doesn't have 9s or 8s. At top of range, he's got 5s or 8-9, which we block. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't. This is a massive raise. I think we could get away with going like 200. 220, but this is fine.
5.
Yeah, I don't know why we went that big.
Yeah, we go 7 bigs into what is a 6 big pot.
Because I don't know really what's worse that's going to call us besides like 2 overs, flush draw, like.
Yeah, like Jack 10 or some combination of 2 random overs, like Ace 9.
Yeah, I mean, I like the raise. I'm just being nitpicky. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Well, we get called. That's honestly best case scenario. You don't want to get 3-bet here because then you're totally looking at 9-8, 8-5.
Yeah, it's interesting. He did put in a call. That's a pretty good turn.
Great. Okay, top 2. I think. What are you going to bet?
He called a massive raise, so I look to barrel pretty big again. I like 580 to 6 or 550 to 625, something like that. I'd probably go like 575, 580. Yeah, go pretty big.
I like this.
That's fine.
Think about like some of his broadways are now picking up a gutter too.
Yeah.
The Queen 10 picks up a gutter ball here. There's a lot of things that pick up equity on this turn.
Yeah, this sizing's fine.
I'm really liking the way this guy's playing this hand so far. And we get a call. Okay.
All right. Well, not a horrible card. I mean,
yeah, it isn't. I mean, it's
7-10 gets there, Queen 10 gets there.
right.
But I think a bet folds in order, and I think size up to make it hard for him to raise us if he has air. So I'd bet like 1,600 here, because I don't expect him to raise us with air. And I expect all of his two pairs to call. What's the problem?
Look at your stack depth.
Oh, he's got 1840. Yeah, no.
We only have 2K.
Well, that is awkward. I don't think we can bet fold, so I think we just rip it in. Did he just tell us? That's what
he says. Jack 10
I'm guessing. I'm assuming. Yeah, this is what he said. I thought for a second he just spoiled the hand.
No, I don't think he's spoiling.
Yeah, no, I think. But it's interesting. Do we want to check and let him hang himself? Because he's probably not going to call us.
His missed hearts with a queen or like something with a 10, like 10-9,
so
that might want to barrel off.
Need a check here. I'm jamming or checking just because of the awkward stat.
I like that. Yeah, it's either.
I think I actually prefer a check here now that I think about it.
Right.
I mean, what is he? They thought he might have 10 jack, which he could potentially turn into a bluff. But at the same
does go with the jam, which I think is like we said, like there's merit. There's plenty of merit to just open jamming here. But
I think Villain has a lot of two pairs. If Villain has a hand like 8-9 though, or something like that, I feel like he re-raises you on the turn with so many draws available. So unless he rivered two pair like Jack 9, 8 Jack, or something like that. I think I like check calling more, but yeah, fine because we don't expect Villain to have that many like. Yeah,
I block top 2. We also block 9-8 like that.
Who's gonna call us? Besides that makes sense. 8-5, like what makes sense? King 8, King 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think now in hindsight,
there are two pair combos, but I think he probably just missed whatever draw he was on, or he has like a straight and we're boned. So
exactly, he's just going to snap. Right.
Yeah, I like check calling, but we'll see what he does. All right.
And Villain folds. That's the evidence, right? Is that we can check and let him hang himself with what may have been missed hearts. That's some kind of bluff there.
And he might not have. No, he did not have King Jack. If he had King Jack, he would have snapped us off. Benny Diamonds. Benny Diamonds wrong again with his read.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Thanks for sending your hand in, by the way, Ben. We really
appreciate it. Yeah, nice guy. So here we are. We got a nice little 2-5 hand. This one I also picked off from a nice little hand history lounge. 7-8 of clubs here in the big blind. A raise from hijack. Call from the small blind. And here are in the big blind with 7-8 suited. Not knowing anything about opponents here. You can really go either way here. I think 3-bet is actually pretty fine. Given that there's lots of dead money out there and 7-8 suited does pretty well, and it can do well multiple ways too. Now, obviously, you're not going to flop like a nut flush or anything, but I like 7-8 suited as something to squeeze with here. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I like to 4-bet this some percentage of the time, or 3-bet this, some percentage
You're good.
We're not hella deep, which makes things a little awkward. I prefer if we were hella deep. So I'd look to flat this actually probably more than I'd look to 3-bet it. I mean, yeah, it's not bad to balance your 3-bet range, but because we're not that, if we were 1K deep, I might probably lean towards 3-betting. But because we're only 500 deep out of position, I think I just like a call here. I mean, we've got pretty good pot odds. Obviously, we could be dominated by a better flush draw. We definitely don't have the best hand, but
right now, yeah.
I think that calling's fine, and I probably look to call here about 85% of the time, considering stack depth, because it's not just our stack depth; it's everyone else's.
Everyone else is the same, right?
Yeah, I mean we're on the 99 big steep,
and Hero does opt to just call.
Yeah, I don't really like putting in 10% of my stack with 7-8.
With 7-8, yeah. So here we are. Flop middle pair, no backdoor flush draw. We have backdoor
check call mode.
Yeah, a 1/3 c-bet. I mean, they're letting you continue here for pretty good.
Yep, I'm calling.
Yeah, Now, why are you still calling Bryce? One of these guys got 9, Bryce. Like, what are you talking about? Why?
If we're calling with 7-8 and we flop second pair, we can't fold, especially third pot. We also have backdoor straight draw. We're just not going anywhere. And I'm assuming we pick up more equity on the turn. Just a pretty boring hand. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Again, probably check call unless the opponent absolutely barrels. But it is awkward because, I mean, if he bets 90, we're drawing fairly thin. I mean,
we're talking 4 outs to a 10, 3 outs to an 8, 7x1. That's only 14% equity.
Eight's not an 8. We're looking for 7s.
Oh, and a 7. You can get a 7.
Well, 2 7s. But, yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
You still,
we'll see what the sizing are. Oh, checks through.
Check through. Okay.
I feel like it's gonna be like an 8 or some shit. What? I mean, I'm just check folding. I don't really know what this hand is. We picked up equity on the turn. I think check. All right, that's interesting.
Why?
We block 8-10.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 queen also has this bone. I hate this. I think villain could have a lot of kings, and I think villain could just have. Like, if villain had like king 9, he might look to just check this back on the turn. And I think opponents can have too many kings. They can have queen 10. I just think we could be beat here in so many different ways. I hate it. I don't like.
Yeah, I don't think this is a good hand selection.
And 75 into 120, it's not even that. Like, just barrel it if you're gonna barrel it. Put in 100. Like, put in 110. Like, I don't understand what a $75 bet accomplishes. Yeah, it might look kind of strong, I guess, but I don't think this is a good bluff candidate here.
Right. It just doesn't make sense because I'm really just not sure at all what you're trying to get to fold here. And like not anything that you think you're going to want to get to fold is going to fold to this bet.
What do we have? Exactly 10 queen? Are we saying we have king 9, king 7?
Yeah.
That's like what we're saying we have. Otherwise, we'll probably bet turn.
And I do think that he gets this one through though.
I don't like.
Look, you will get bad bluffs through sometimes, but it doesn't mean that it's a good play in the long run. I think. I mean, I think if a 10 in hand makes this such a better bluff. I think a queen in hand makes this such a better bluff. I think just having blockers to the dummy end of the straight doesn't help you that much here.
I agree.
And I think when you're thinking about constructing bluff ranges, you want to be constructing that with having blockers to nutted hands.
Exactly, and I'm all for blockers, but the dummy into the straight on this board isn't it?
It ain't it.
You got this one through, but I don't love it.
In the long run, I don't think it's the best play.
I agree. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Wrap this one up just under an hour. Perfect timing. Thank you so much to Jeff Boski for coming on. We will see you guys next Wednesday for our all-female month.
Let's go. Women's month in February.
Please send in your hand histories if you would like to join our Zoom games. They have been a ton of fun. We have had a full fishy table every single week. Someone has hit 2K, I think, every single week we've had it.
Yeah.
400 max game. They're a ton of fun. Also running some tournaments on Sunday, $25, nothing crazy. So if you guys want to check those out, feel free to hit me up.
Come play with us. You know how we play. Come on. Come see if you could steal our money.
Come exploit us. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in and have a good weekend.